camera.
Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to take you through a bit of a mobility and a core session. So I'm going to start off with mobility and then we'll do a bit of a core finisher. So the way I do mobility, I normally start from the ankles and work our way up. So right now all you really need is a wall. So give yourself a bit of space. You're going to put your foot about 5 inches out from a wall. You want to keep your heel flat on the ground and you're aiming to bring your knee into the wall while keeping your heel on the ground. Aim to tap your knee 10 times. And on the 10th one, you just want to hold this position. Once you do 10 on one leg, switch sides. So up opposite foot 5 inches out from the wall, bring your knee in and tap your knee off the wall 10 times. So working on your ankle mobility will definitely help if you're coming forward while squatting. And on the 10th one, just hold this position. Perfect. Once you're done that, holding onto the wall, you want to keep your core engaged. You're going to bring your leg up and across your body. You want to do this 12 times on each side. And switch legs. Once you've done that 12 times, you're now going to face forward and do the same thing, bringing your leg up and forward 12 times. And switch. Aim to get it a tiny bit higher with each kick. Perfect. Once you've done that, I'll have you come over to your mats. So you're going to keep your heels flat on the ground and you're going to go into a deep squat. You want your back to be as straight as possible and you want your heels to stay on the ground ideally. So put a bit of pressure on your knees, pushing them outwards, and then kind of go back side to side. You're going to bring your right hand up. And left. From here, you're placing your hands on the ground and you're just going to extend your legs. So if your back is really round and you don't want to stretch to the point of pain, keep your back nice and straight and only come to your shins. And slowly come up. You're going to cross one leg over and go back down. Slowly back up again, switch legs, cross the other leg over and back down. Slowly up. This time as you go down, you're going to walk your hands out and go into a downward dog position. From here, you want your back to be straight once again. So if you feel like it's rounding, put a slight bend in your knees and push your palms into the ground. From here, you're just gonna lift up your heels. You're gonna take your right leg, bring it up in the air, put it through your hands, drop your back knee, and you're pushing your hip, not your knee, forward. From here, you're taking your right arm and you're doing 8 wide circles. And 8 in the opposite direction. Perfect. You're going to pop your hands down, your knee is coming up, and you're just going to bring your opposite arm up to the sky. Here, you're going to bring your foot back, you're going to push your hips up, you're walking your heels out again, and you're taking that exact same leg, you're bringing it up again, and you're slowly bringing it to the outside of your hand. From here, if you can, you're dropping your elbows down to the ground. If you can't bring your elbows to the ground, just stay up on your hands. Hands up, foot back, hips in the air, walking your feet out again. We're going to go over to the left side now. So you're bringing your left leg up in the air, bringing it through your hands. You're dropping your back leg, and once again, you're pushing your hip, not your knee, forward. And you're going to give 8 wide circles. And in the opposite direction. Hand comes down, foot goes up, you're lifting up your opposite arm into the air. Perfect, hand comes down, foot goes back, hips go up. You're walking your heels out again, and you're taking that same left leg, bringing it up and slowly to the outside of your hand, and if you can, your elbows are dropping down. Hands up, foot back, your knees are dropping down, and you're going to go into child's pose. You're going to bring your left hands over to the side, stretching out your lats. Now you're going to go over to the right side. Back to center, you're going to go into tabletop position. From here, you're going to do 12 cat camels. So you're rounding your spine and then arching your spine. So you're going to do that 12 times. Once you've done that 12 times, you're putting your hand behind your ear and we're gonna stretch out our T-spine. So from here, your hips are staying square and you're moving your elbow as far as you can without moving your hips. You're gonna do that 8 times. So this is working on your T-spine rotation. And switch sides. Perfect. Next you're going to do one that's very similar. You're taking your whole hand, you're bringing it up as high as you can, your hips can move with this movement, and you're dropping your shoulder down to the floor. So you're going to do that 8 times as well. And switch. From here, your hips are staying up and you're going to bring your hands forward. So it's kind of like child's pose, but your hips are up in the air. So you should really feel this stretch in your shoulders. Next, bring your hands over to the right, do the same thing. And over to the left. Once you're back to center, you're going to take your left hand, drop it down, keeping this right one stretched out. And switch, dropping your right shoulder, keeping your left hand stretched out. From here, you're going back to center, and you're just going to go into a cobra position. So from here, you're going to stretch out your core. You're going to drop your right shoulder, looking over your left. Drop your left shoulder, looking over your right. And you're going to come right down. So from here, you want to give yourself a tiny bit of space. So you're going to take your right leg and you're going to bring this across your body. So ideally, you want to keep your shoulders as close to the ground as possible while bringing this leg over and touching the ground. And switch. Perfect. Back to center. And give myself a bit more room for the next one. You're going to bring your arms out, your thumbs sticking up. From here, you're going to bring them behind your back. You're touching your thumbs together, and then you're bringing them over your head, touching them together. We're going to do that 10 times. the 10th one, keeping your thumbs behind your back, just kind of drop your elbows if you can. Perfect. Next you're going to go on your side. From here, you're grabbing the top of your left foot. You're pushing your hip forward to deepen the quad stretch. Perfect. And switch. Grabbing the top of your foot, pushing your hip forward to deepen that quad stretch. Excellent. Next, you're going to roll over onto your back. So lying down, we're going to do a very similar one as the one we did on our stomach. So legs straight out, arms straight out. You're taking one leg, pulling it across your body, putting a tiny bit of pressure on the knee. Ideally, you're keeping both shoulders on the ground, and you're going to take your left hand, bring it across your body, and back over. And we're going to do that 10 times. And you're going to switch sides. You're bringing your opposite leg across your body, putting a tiny bit of pressure here, and bringing your arm across. The next thing we're going to do is something called floor angel. So you're going to stay lying down on the floor. What you want is your fingers, your wrists, and your elbows to be flat on the floor. So fingers, wrists, elbows. You're taking your hands from this position and bringing them down in towards your core while trying to keep them as close to the floor as possible. So we'll do that 10 times. Perfect. Once you've done that 10 times, you're going to slowly come up. You're going to take your right foot, putting it on top of the opposite knee, and you're pushing your right knee down towards the mat. And switch. From here, you're lifting your left arm up first, your right arm is staying on the ground, and you're driving your hips upwards. So you want to try and get a bit of a curve in your spine, and you're going to do that 8 times on each side. And switch. Opposite hand stays on the ground, driving your hips upwards. From here, you're going to take your left foot, keep it out straight. Your right foot is coming on the upper inner part of your thigh. From here, you're hinging at your hip, grabbing onto your foot. Once again, if your back is really rounding, you really want to focus on keeping it straight, so only come to your shin. Perfect. You're going to take that same leg and put it out to the side. So you're facing forward, your leg is out to the side, and you're just hinging sideways now. Perfect. You're going to switch legs, so right leg goes out in front, hinging forward, grabbing onto your foot. This leg once again goes out to the side, you stay facing forward and hinging sideways. Perfect, you're going to bring your feet together next. Your chest is staying up, your back is straight, your knees ideally are trying to drive towards the ground. So if they're up here, aim to just slightly get them a bit lower than the last time. Perfect. Next you're going to have your feet spread apart. And you're hinging forward, trying to reach as far as you can. And relax. We'll do that one more time. And hinge forward. And relax. From here, we're going to go into the 90-90 stretch. So both your legs are bent at a 90-degree angle. Keeping your back straight, I want you to put a tiny bit of pressure on your back leg. You won't go very far. And next, I want to fold over your front leg. So you should be able to get a bit lower on this leg. Coming back up, facing forward, you're going to lift your back foot off the ground 12 times. So raise it up as high as you can comfortably. So you want this to be slow and controlled. You don't want your foot to be flailing up and down. Once you've done that 12 times, you're just going to flip your legs over and you should be back into the 90-90 position. From here, once again, you're putting a bit of pressure on your back leg. And folding over your front leg. And lifting your back foot up 12 times. Perfect. Next, what we're going to do is you're going to be sitting on top of your heels. So the top of your foot should be flat, and you're just going to rest on top of the bottoms of your foot. From here, you're going to bring your arm across your body, putting a bit of pressure before or after the joint, not on the joint. You're going to take that same arm, bring it up and over, putting a bit of pressure, pushing backwards. Perfect. Opposite arm, bring it across your chest, putting a tiny bit of pressure on your arm. And you're going to bring your arm up and over, putting a bit of pressure on your elbow, pushing backwards. Perfect. Next, I'm going to have you point your toes outwards. This is going to be slightly uncomfortable. And you're going to get down onto your elbows. From here, you're going to rock forward. And you're going to sit back into this position. And rock forward again. Doing this on rocks wasn't the best idea. And hold. Rock forward again, and sink back. Perfect. Next, I'm going to have you put your hands behind your back and bring your forehead parallel to the ceiling. Bring your chin down to your chest. Have you look over your right shoulder. And your left. Perfect. Next, we're going to get into some core. So I'll have you rest for 2 seconds while we get the timer set up. Alright, so the way the core is going to work is we're going to do 3 straight minutes of core. We're going to be doing 6 different exercises in those 3 minutes. So it's going to go back to back. So we're going to start off with crunches, go into heel taps, into bicycle, into plank, plank side to side, and then into dead bugs. So we're going to do 30 seconds of each of those. I'll let you rest, and then we're going to do that again. So we'll get started with crunches. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, heel taps. Three, 2, 1, bicycles. 3, 2, 1, plank. 3, 2, 1, plank side to side. So you're tapping your hips down to the ground. And my screen just went blank, so I'm going to guess. 3, 2, 1, dead bug. So with dead bug, you're on your back and you're lowering opposite arm and opposite leg. So you rest for 60 seconds, and we're going to do that one more time. See if I can get this working correctly. A bit over 3 minutes there. Once again, crunches, heel taps, bicycles, plank, plank side to side, and then dead bug. So we'll get started in about 15 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, go. So crunches first. Three, 2, 1, heel taps. Your core should be burning right about now. Three, 2, 1, bicycles. Three, 2, 1, into plank. Pushing your heels down, keeping your core engaged. You want your back nice and flat. Hips shouldn't be up or down. Three, 2, 1, side to side. 3, 2, 1, into dead bug. And relax. Perfect. Great work, guys. I'll have you just over on your stomach, stretching out your core. Drop the left shoulder. Drop to the right. Well, that's everything. Thanks for joining tonight. We'll be hosting this video as well in case you missed it. You can join in.